Hey, how's it going? This is Eric Marienthal, and I'm here to talk to you about my new Eric Marienthal special mouthpiece by Retro Revival. I'm very excited about it. It's been out, I think, now for about 3 weeks or so, and some questions have come to the Retro Revival site about the mouthpiece, and so I wanted to address those. And before I do, I'm going to play a little bit. Let me turn off this speaking mic so you can hear it a little bit better. Cool. Okay, so it has just been so much fun. I played my last mouthpiece. It was a Beechler for over 35, well, about 33 years when I first started playing in the electric band. And I never thought that I would switch mouthpieces. And when Joel Peskin called me a year and a half ago about doing a signature mouthpiece, I, was game to try, certainly, but never thought in a million years we'd get to the point where we are now. So let's see. A couple of questions here for you. Am I currently playing my new mouthpiece on gigs? Yes, I am. I am proud to say I've been playing it a lot. I leave on a tour day after tomorrow in Europe for 2 weeks. It's all alto, so I get to play nothing but alto and the new mouthpiece. But I've been in Japan now twice on tours and a whole bunch of sessions and a whole bunch of gigs here in the States, and it's just been great. It's been just a lot of fun. Why do I like it better than my Beechler? Well, I'm certainly not going to get into disparaging any other mouthpieces. Beechler mouthpieces are great and served me incredibly well for most of my entire career. I have to say, with this mouthpiece, I realized that I felt good about what I was doing and the sound I was getting and how I was playing the Beechler, but it required more work than I'm having to put into this mouthpiece. Certainly, this one is just making it easy to play. What can I say? Everything about it. I can play quietly. I can play loud. And everything in between. And it articulates really easily. It's just easy, It doesn't mean you don't have to practice, but it just makes everything so much easier. What size tip opening? I'm using the 7. That's the one I recommend. That's the mouthpiece that we aimed for. So there is a 6 available, but the 7 is an 85 tip opening, 85 millimeter tip opening, and it sounds a little big, but because of the other, I learned this through the process of all these prototypes, that it's not just about the opening of the mouthpiece, of the tip, but by bringing down the beak a little bit and bringing up the table, it changed things so dramatically. Now it allows us to have a little bit larger tip opening and get the air through so much better, and it just zings through. So I definitely recommend the 7. That's certainly what I'm playing. Does it tune well in all registers? it, that was the first thing. When we went down to Max Sachs, where these mouthpieces are manufactured in Austin, Texas, Bob Sheppard, the other partner with Joel Peskin with Retro Revival, he and I went down together. And once we nailed this particular prototype, the first thing I did was put the tuner up, and every note just zinged right in. It had a really great slot. Just last night, I actually did my first movie date on this mouthpiece. It was the Phineas and Ferb, I think it is. It's a sequel to the cartoon movie, and it was a horn date, and I was playing lead alto, and Wayne Bergeron, one of the great lead trumpet players, was playing, and he and I played together in Gordon Gilman's Big Fat Band. And with my other mouthpiece, I was playing in tune, I think, but it was it was more of an effort. I was having to manipulate the sound. Last night it was just so exciting because I just knew right when I put the notes down that it was just landing. Everything just slots well. And when Wayne even mentioned it after the session, and for him to say something like that was really, really nice. Just everything just felt like it rang. All of our notes just locked together more easily than ever before. So that was really exciting to me. Is it easy to blow? It's just, again. Yes, it's incredibly easy to blow. It's just so, it's just so open. One of the cool things about playing alto is the note A, an octave key. And B flat. And even B. You alto players know what I mean. Those notes just sing. And it's just like that feeling when you've got the reed, it just feels great. And, I felt like I used to get that, but when this mouthpiece, that was the thing that really sold me, that I knew that we nailed it, was that, those notes just ring, they sing, and so it is very easy not only to blow, but just to get the sound that I'm trying to get. Yes, can I play soft and loud easily? That was another question. I've answered that already, absolutely. Does it take the air really fast? What's great is that feels like I can play longer because it is a little bit easier. Just the air. What we did with this mouthpiece, by the way, one of the designs. Well, I mentioned it. I think that the beak is a touch lower, and that the table where the reed sits is a touch higher, and so those two design changes really just helped the airflow tremendously. Is it easy to find reeds for? That's another, yes. I mean, obviously I'm trying to sell my mouthpiece, but it really is true that reeds are just working a little bit more easily for me. I don't know why. I'm not a designer, I'm a player. But I can tell you that it's just been a lot easier just to find a reed. I've got, not every reed for us cane reed players. Of course, can't polish what, but yeah, not every reed is going to work. But the percentage of reeds that are working is definitely substantially higher. So that's been a real lovely thing on my psyche as well as my playing. See, one more question. Does it play different from the Bellite since it's made of brass? That's a good question, actually. To be perfectly honest with you, when we first started making these prototypes, and I thought, I really want to try the stainless steel because I want to try making this mouthpiece out of stainless steel because I just felt like that was the way to go. It was what I was used to, and our first few prototypes, also got to be honest, weren't really doing it for me, and I thought it had to be the material. And Bob Sheppard and Joel both said, no, let's just keep going, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but let's try, because it is, the brass is easier to work with, and it's a little lighter, so it rings a little bit more. And so, what can I say? I mean, now it rings. Now when I play, the other mouthpiece, the stainless steel one, I do have to be honest, it really is backing up on me. It really is just I realize how much harder I was working to get it happening, And everything. Everything just pops, and it's just easy. I'm not working it. One thing that I was doing, rather that I have done, is that I haven't ever done before, is to use a mouthpiece patch up here. And I've made a study over the past few weeks, really. I've never used them before on any mouthpiece, but with this mouthpiece, being that it's a little bit lower. Now, I've talked to a lot of people who have bought the mouthpiece, and I've suggested using cushions, and they said, no, I like the way it is. I like my mouth a little bit closer. And I kind of like that in a way, too, because it really does, for whatever reason, it brings the ability to articulate. It makes it a bit, a bit easier. It's all very available. And that is attributable, I think, to the fact, again, that the beak is lower. Because when we had the prototypes where the beak was a little higher, it wasn't as easy. But for me, it kind of helps me open up the sound a little bit, maybe. I don't know. It's just me personally, and it's maybe a little bit more comfortable on my teeth to have a patch. And what I've got on here is I put it on upside down intentionally because the flat part of the patch is closer and it fits the tip of the mouthpiece shape-wise better. I've got a BG, what is it, a 0.8 millimeter size, the black one, which is more of a rubber type, and the small size, so it's a black 0.8 millimeter small so that, in terms of width, so that it fits perfectly. You don't have to cut. The other ones I've found you have to just cut them to shape a metal mouthpiece size. But this one's great. It's not too slick, and it's not too grabby with your teeth. So of all the ones I've tried so far, this is definitely my favorite. And they're sticking, too. On metal mouthpieces, it's sometimes hard to get the clear patches to stick well when you play really hard. So anyway, there you go. I'm so, as you can tell, I'm very, very excited about this mouthpiece. I really appreciate Bob and Joel for bringing me on to Retro Revival and allowing me to go down this adventure and make this mouthpiece. It's changed my musical life, I gotta say. It's been great, and I've had so many great comments from people who have gotten them so far, and they're very excited about it, which is a thrill. So I hope you check out our Eric Marienthal special mouthpiece, and let us know what you think. All right, thanks a lot.